We concluded in the previous module that the net present value method of project evaluation is theoretically sound, consistent with the critical factors in finance, and is the most reliable and accurate method, and should be used for capital budgeting decisions. However, other project evaluation methods are used in practice, and therefore it's important that we're familiar with them. The first of those is the payback period method. The definition of the payback period is that it is the length of time it takes to recover the initial outlay on a project from the project's cash flows. To implement the payback period method, the first step is to calculate the payback period for a project, and then the second step is to compare that payback period with the maximum acceptable payback period and accept the project if it is within that period of time. What is the payback period of this project? And if the maximum payback period is 2 years, should it be accepted? The answer to the first question is 3 years. It takes 3 payments of $25 to recover the initial outlay of $75. And since this is a longer period of time than the maximum acceptable payback period, the project should be rejected. It is often the case that the payback period is not as easy to calculate as in the previous example. If the initial outlay is recovered partway through a year, then a little more calculation is required. The first assumption we will make is that the cash flows each year are received evenly throughout the course of the year. That makes the calculation a lot simpler. This is a method of calculating the exact payback period. In this formula, A is the number of whole years before the initial outlay is recovered, B is the remaining amount of the initial outlay that needs to be recovered the following year, and C is the total cash flow received in that year. For example, what is the payback period of this project? In this case, since the first 2 years recover $56, and at the end of the third year we've recovered $84, clearly the payback period is sometime between years 2 and 3. To use the formula, A is 2 because we know that there are at least 2 years in the payback period for this project. After the second year we've recovered $56, and therefore the final amount we need to recover in the third year is 81 minus 56, or $25, and the total cash flow received in the third year is $28. Using the formula, we get 2 plus 25 divided by 28, or 2.89. We are 89% of the way through the third year when we finally recover our initial outlay of $81.